All this meeting of Brown County Commission to order. We'll start with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. First on the agenda, Judy Dosh is going to discuss door opening in the sheriff's garage.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Or do you have something else you just thought? She looked at like, really?
She said I've been running up, getting everybody in and out and up and down. I came in, it's been, a couple of weeks ago, and I had talked about putting a doorway underneath the stairway in the sheriff's garage. And Rachel actually wanted to look at it, and Rachel has looked at it. So, it's $3,500 to cut a door for an opening under the north stairwell into the garage, in the garage area. So it'll be another storage room.
That's strictly would be a storage?
Yes.
How big a room?
I don't even know. It's
Just a closet.
It's a closet, yeah.
Like 6 by 6?
Say 30?
Oh, no.
3,500?
Mhm.
Is that for
That's
material,
for-
labor, and everything?
Yeah. For door and everything, yeah.
Must be a secure door for...
It'll have a fob on it, you have the right, built for the striker and all that kind of stuff.
What do you guesstimate the size is once you get in there?
Oh, gosh, I should have looked at that, but, I don't even know. Maybe 6 foot wide by, golly gee, it's a long ways. 12 foot maybe?
Because when we talked about its size, it just depends on once they break in there, kind of what they find.
Yeah.
There's the scary unknown factor.
There should just be it should be just the steps going all up. And it's not, we don't have to, the city doesn't require us to put sheetrock and stuff on it, so.
Because it's a storage.
It's a storage, and it'll be just for their shovels and stuff, to get everything, they got so much loose stuff in the garage. Just get that all cleaned up, taken care of.
Any other questions for Judy?
On our storage, is there a place that could be cleaned out? Have we ever considered rent like a store-out building for minimum monthly payments to clean some of our stuff up? Or do we have a place for all our odds and ends that's piling up?
Well, I gotta straighten a little bit up for a fruit sale that's coming up next, in March, but pretty good. My surplus building is filled.
And this is for stuff you use daily, like your
No,
shovels
this
and your
is
salt
stuff that
and
we use
your...
daily. Yeah, they would use, daily. It's your shovels and all that kind of stuff, and your brooms and all that.
Things you don't want anyone to get hold of and could be used as... I have no problem with it. It's a safety, mainly what we're paying for, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can get everything put away, per se.
3,500 seems high, but I don't know what the door would be like.
It's a steel door, and it's a frame.
Steel?
That explains some of it.
Yep.
Any questions or motions?
I'll move it.
We've got a motion from Hanson on the floor to approve.
Second.
Second from Fishback. Any other questions on the door opening there? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. Motion carries. Anything else for us today, Jude?
Go ahead.
The locks on these new doors, is that the key to fit these doors the same as that, or?
And you'll eventually get fobs on them. That's
Okay.
the plan.
Okay.
But our keys don't work in these doors yet.
Mine
Maybe
does.
some of yours does and some of yours not.
Can we all have a key to get into the courthouse?
We did
Well,
have.
you,
I think
you
you should
you
recheck
can-
it because it just turns really hard. Like Dwayne didn't think his did either, but I thought after he turned it maybe.
Okay.
Whatever.
And
I'm almost
you
done
can-
anyway.
You can give me your key and I can try it and then see if we can, but
You're eventually gonna put the fabs on.
the fobs on them. Yep, all doors will have fobs.
So the fab we gotta work with, or we get different ones?
You will get probably different ones. You'll probably get these flat ones.
Okay.
These are the old ones.
Okay.
Yep, and before that we had cards.
Got every version on your arm there.
No, this is who I am. That's my badge.
Can't vote with them yet.
What's that?
Can't vote with them yet.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
We tried voting with them.
I can't even use it to get my driver's license. I tried. Didn't work.
Would you like to give them an elevator update?
Well, we're in such high spirits, let's hear about the elevator.
I don't know what to, they're trying to get, boards and everything else to get the elevator to work the way IT wants it to work. So that's in the workings. I mean, we're battling, so. And then we have to get the other one. We want to get them both done at the same time because we have to do the old one too. Get some boards in there too and update the software so that they'll do everything so the control room can operate.
Did they not have a deadline or a date that they had to have this done by?
Well, only what Huff had said that he wanted to be done at the end of January. But, the Otis guys put them off for months because because they were working on other projects they want to get finished. So, and then, now that they're trying to do what they want to do, it doesn't have some boards on it and that kind of stuff. So now they're working on that. I'm hoping that in another week, I'm actually going to go ahead with have the construction meeting on Thursday so we can talk a little bit more. So if anybody want to come to the meeting on Thursday, construction meeting at 10,
These boards, are they kind of an update from the original plan? Something that they decided would be enhanced, the elevators, or is this something that's always been in the plan, or is it?
Well, and that's more so for Paul to discuss with, because he's been discussing everything with the Otis guys on what all they needed to operate the elevators to do what they want to do for their IT stuff. And actually, when the guy came here, our elevator isn't for the security portion of it, so that takes some different boards and stuff. So
like if there's a fire,
Yeah,
whether or not,
yeah.
they're able to use buttons or keys or whatever it takes, that's kind of been the discussion.
we have to keep the fire service on there, so that's, otherwise we'd have to sign off and take full liability, and it's code, they need the fire service on it, so.
Okay, anything else for Judy? How's everything in your world, Craig? Besides Paul.
You have a full schedule?
Yeah, we get your
Yeah.
reports, we know.
It's, we're packed and delays, everybody's on edge and getting calls from, defense attorneys, family members. You told me this would be done by now. Well, I just pass on what I'm told, and, there's delays, so everybody's a little on edge.
Sure.
Understandable, but that includes me and my staff. Like Judy said, there's the elevator delay now, and then,
Video visitation, getting that all up and going.
I think that'll be up this week.
Yep.
And the
We had a
floor
little-
guy isn't matching things, so.
We had a little setback on that yesterday. They're taking out the window they used to look through and then a speaker. And they were thinking they would just be able to leave the speaker, but now the speaker has to come out too so that they can get the because there's a camera on it so that they can, so the person that's watching you or on the computer at home can actually see you. Well, they have to bring it down a little bit so it's eye level, and so now that we have to remove the speaker, so then I had to get a hold of Schwann so that they can come now, because we have a gap in the bottom, so that's posing us a problem right now too, so we can get that taken care of and try to move. I know Craig's issue is trying to get people moved around, which I got his email this morning. Yep, so it's just things like that we have to work through.
Little things turn into big projects.
Yep,
Yeah.
because you just think, well, you can have somebody come in and do some welding, well, we gotta kind of remove them, and,
Yeah.
it takes a little more
Takes
work.
more than just one.
Yep.
All right. Well, any other questions for either Craig or Judy?
I think we better not ask them.
In our world, don't ask.
Well, thank you guys. We appreciate you coming in, and
Thank you.
hopefully there's no
Thank you.
surprises behind that wall when we bust open for
Yes.
the closet.
Yes, all right.
Sweet. No? We did. I think it was all.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah.
All right, we got a little time before the next one. Is there, who's gonna do yours?
Minutes from January 17th.
Move.
Excuse me, 24th.
Motion from Fishback.
Second.
Second from Hanson. Any questions on the minutes or changes? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Claims.
Move.
Motion from Feldheim. There was one that they were
Second.
checking on, second from Fishback. The one for A and B, Paul wasn't sure what that copier one was, because he thought it was all Marco over there, so maybe we'll wait on that one. Can we add it at the end?
Yeah, we can just pull it and do it next week.
Yeah, he was checking on it for him.
Pull A and B.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was like $619 a voucher,
Which department?
sheriff.
Okay.
So other than that one, we got the motion and the second. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
They have a regional review board for Homeland Security, and the 2017 members that they've requested to appoint is Scott Mines and Tom Schmidt.
Move.
Second.
Motion from Feldheim, second from Hanson. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Raffle for the Stratford Community Theater.
Move from Hanson,
Second.
seconded from Fishback. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
It was a grant of easement.
Move. Elm Lake.
Oh.
That road dock.
Second.
Moved from Feldheim, seconded from Hanson. Any questions on that? Basically, Game Fish and Park, making some updates at Elm Lake. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Lease for a wedding at the clubhouse.
Move it.
Motion from Fishback,
Second.
second from Feldheim. Any questions on that lease? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
There was a renewal quote for the GIS ESRI system.
Did everybody get a chance to look at that renewal?
Oh, I did.
Did Mattson say anything when he brought it up? Pretty standard.
The standard.
It's an annually,
Okay.
yeah.
Motion from Hanson.
Second.
Second from Kipley. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Got a few more minutes. Gary, did you have anything for us?
Seeing Cliff was out
Yeah,
there.
he's
Yeah,
here.
he wants to come in for a minute. Just wanted to acknowledge that the Sheriff's Department has been really appreciative of the job that Cliff and Roxy have been doing in regards to savings on their medical bills. In 2016, they managed to save $143,569.77. So he just wanted to let everyone know that how well that worked out last year and appreciate your efforts.
Thank you. I'll pass that on to Roxy, too.
Was that
She
from
deserves the
the,
credit.
from the research being done and whatnot, or that was from?
Oh, some of it, and then Medicaid pricing. So,
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks,
Yep.
Also, the sheriff submitted their annual uniform policy for the year, so I just wanted to pass that on. And
What was our
last,
uniform policy last year? Was it pretty comparable, or is it?
yeah, it's been pretty much consistent the last few years.
Do you need a motion on that, or is it just informational?
Just informational, that's just a requirement for the policy manual.
So we're all on the same page.
Yep. Lastly, Diane Lear from Teen Court was asking if any of you had any concerns about her moving offices over at the Millen Building. She'd like to move over to where Amy and them used to be, more on that west, by that west door, and those offices that have windows there, so that's the only thing she was inquiring about.
Doesn't need any more wiring or any changes?
It's already set up to plug in phones and computers and everything. It's, since, you know, we've never really had anything else go in or anything, she just thought she'd like to move over to that end if possible, so.
Anyone have a concern on that? No. Okay, I don't think
All
it's a
right,
problem.
I'll let her know, thank you.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
All right, brings us up to 9 o'clock. Let's talk about resolution amending Appendix C, the welfare guidelines. We've had some discussion the last few weeks about the rates for indigent folks in the county when it comes to funeral and what the reimbursement rate to the funeral home should be. Did everybody have those numbers and get the chance to read through them? Did anybody have thoughts on what they wanted to change it to, stay the same? We haven't changed it in quite a few years, so we talked about upping that a little bit, and then we've been given some numbers comparing other counties, and then Cliff had given us some information on his thoughts on it.
Well, I looked at it and Cliff, I think on a full service, the sheet that you had, I think you were saying that a full service would probably go up to 1,800, and then naturally we would be responsible for our vault
Yeah,
setup
actually,
and...
on that, sorry to interrupt, but I wanna make sure you guys have a right copy of it, because I made a mistake on that, and that would have resulted actually in probably more than what we were looking for. I went up a little bit too high, because I didn't do the math right. I have something that I gave to Gary last week, which would increase the full service and the gravesite to 1,305. That, when you add in the vault and the casket, that brings you up to 2,000 even for a burial. And I think we were looking at maybe just going 2,000 as a flat fee for burial or cremation across the board, no, regardless of service, whether it's full service or gravesite.
That was Minnehaha's.
Yeah, and that's consistent with what Minnehaha does.
Yeah.
And taking a look at what the averages are around the state, when you put together all the information and you kind of total it up, the average is about that, about 2,000, and pretty much even for burial or cremation. I think we're seeing more cremations. I think it's tending more that way. So I think that'll result in a little bit more money for the directors, because you know, you could see that if we went up to 2,000 as a flat fee on cremation, that'd be a pretty good jump up over what they're currently getting. They get 1,000 currently on that. So, and they'll probably, anything, you know, most likely they lose money on a burial, I'm guessing, when they do it with us. The cremation will allow them to make up that, you know, a little bit.
What would your thoughts be if a guy just did 1,800 straight across the board? Cremation, full burial, we'd still be responsible for the closing and opening of the grave.
Yep,
and
that's
the
right.
vault, and that's, Minnehaha is a little different story, because they own their own cemetery.
Yep.
And they have their own people digging the grave and stuff, so that 2,000 really isn't a fair number of Minnehaha when we look at ours. Because we still have the additional costs that Minnehaha County doesn't have, so.
That's right.
I think 1,800 straight across the board would be a substantial increase. It's probably, the number that you gave us on these 13 counties that were on cremation, it looks like if you took the two highs and two lows out, right at about $1,800 would be about the norm on other counties.
There are a couple outliers.
Right. So I guess I would propose 1,800 straight across for cremation, whether it's a full service or without service. Same thing with a funeral, with us, with the understanding that we would take care of the opening and closing and the vault and the setup fee.
Okay, I think we got a motion on the floor from Feldheim to put the rate at a uniform 1,800 regardless of which of the two choices was chosen. Is there a second on that?
Yeah, I would second that.
Second from Fishback.
But then we still have to pay for the city for...
That's for a different discussion later, maybe.
All right, so we've got a motion and a second.
Just to clarify before you take a vote, so are you saying that then the 1,800 would include the vault and setup?
No.
Or 1,800 plus the vault?
We would then
and
go, it would actually be $29.95 for the total,
Yep.
with the opening and closing and the whole thing.
Okay.
Do you think that's fair, Cliff?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
You're doing each line separate from motions, or you're going to do the whole resolution to adopt the whole thing?
What do you prefer we do?
Well, it's easier if you just, get your numbers and then pass your resolution.
Okay, well, let's go ahead
The
and...
whole Appendix C rather than individual line items.
So we need to change,
Gary's going, I think.
Yeah, I don't have the lines numbered in the
infant
appendix,
3 years
so,
old, full service grave site,
but
and we're doing that regardless.
I thought we were just doing the,
I thought we were only, yeah,
yeah.
so nothing changes there, okay.
Did
Which one?
Is that what you gave us earlier?
We're only changing adult and children full service grave
Yep.
site.
This
Oh,
one right
just
here.
that one.
Everything
Yeah.
previous.
Both being
Everything else
1,800.
stays.
Okay, leave it
Everything
as
else
stands
stays,
then.
except for those lines right there.
Okay, everything else stays the same.
And then this will
Yeah,
change
just
because
total.
that's gonna go up,
Yeah,
but everything else is.
okay, all right,
But,
that'll change.
another question on the bottom here.
Is that what you do?
Yep.
On the bottom, it's just saying
Brown, well,
1,800.
Brown County does not pay for burial plots, graves, transportation outside of that, and then death strip, fellowship hall. Do we pay for the obituaries, or how's that work?
Yeah, we don't pay separately for that, no.
So should we include that in there, that we don't pay for obituaries
We
also?
we could, it's never been an issue, but we could add it in there if you want to.
I wonder
We've
if
never been
just-
asked to pay for it.
But it could happen,
In
and
case
it
it
might
comes
not
up.
list it,
Just
right?
for clarity.
So you wanna put it after meal, or?
Yeah, just so that they realize Brown County doesn't pay for obituaries, that would be...
Okay, so we're updating the whole appendix. Do anybody have an opposition if we just include that change also in the motion? All right,
Fine.
we'll do that. So we're obituary.
In the traditional full service, do you wanna change any of those figures down there?
Those don't apply anymore.
So we can just take those out?
Well, they all apply except the 1305, just change that to 1305 to 1800, and that would be
Okay,
Yep.
2995 would end up with your ballot number.
okay. And the other figures we just leave out?
Okay. Okay, so then we're changing to the date. Is that same thing you have? Okay. Should we ask him to look into the city on 500 or?
I'm just wondering, are these figures, opening, closing,
There was discussions, prior to the transition and in the welfare office of maybe just touch base with the city on that 500 for opening and closing.
Yeah.
Because at some point, I think they were willing to maybe pitch in on the services for the indigent folks in the county. And
Okay.
maybe not charge for that portion of it. That was just
Okay.
today. I'm not sure if it was
All right.
standing, nothing was signed or anything like
Yeah.
that. But maybe just touch base with
Okay,
them and see
yeah.
if it's something they want to go in on us with.
Sure,
Just for the future.
sure.
All right, any other questions or comments on the updates made on Appendix C? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
So could we get a
Clean copy?
clean copy sometime?
Yeah.
Next on the agenda, we've got Kathy McNichol, the Deputy Auditor, and Brandon Johnson with Everybody's
Cliff.
Count. Appreciate it. To discuss election software and review the hardware quotes. Kathy, are you with us?
Yeah, hi
Good
guys.
morning, how are you guys? You're here, so you're great, right?
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
This is Brandon Johnson with Everyone Counts. We also have Justin Van Balen. He is with Everyone Counts as tech support as well. Well, we are in the market for looking for new software and possible hardware for our e-poll books that we use at our election. So we've done quite a bit of research and have recommended we go with Everyone Counts. Both Brandon and Dustin are on a peer. And I don't know if you guys had a chance to review what I sent you regarding why we had selected them, but some of the key concerns we have is making sure they are compatible with TotalVote, which is our voter registration software, because that's where we send the file to the poll books from. It is also important that the software is compliant with all South Dakota election laws in our unique primary situations. What I like about Everyone Counts is they own and build their software in-house, which is going to be critical to us going forward in the future. And it means that there's no subcontractors, that the software is compatible with our voter registration system. Any future law changes administratively, the software can be adapted to always meet our needs. What else I also like about Everyone Counts is they offer the ability to put the software on any compatible product. They don't require you to have the specific product they sell to put it on. So we can put it on a tablet, we can put it on a laptop, just whatever our needs are, we can use this software. Our goal is to try to get it to work on the current poll books we have. We're going to run through that in March, see if we can get the software to work on that before moving forward with buying all new hardware. So really today we're just looking at a recommendation to purchase software with Everyone Counts. They already are operating in South Dakota. I believe it's Custer County utilized them in this last election cycle, and it seems successful there. So that's also good to know that they work here. They're the only other e-poll book vendor in South Dakota right now that actually has product running with another county here, and that's something we like as well.
The only other one other than...
Hart was the only other company, but we are discontinuing with them.
Yep.
Yep. The price with Everyone Counts is consistent with what we've currently budgeted for 17 and what we've budgeted in 16 as well as far as election budget goes. They'll actually end up being a little bit cheaper in the long run as far as the software price goes. Their data management is secure, encrypted, same sort of system that we've currently been accustomed to. Also, I'd like to just say that we only transmit public record qualified data anyways, so there's never any private information being sent to a vendor and hitting across those servers. The other thing with upgrading to a new software is it has better administrative functions than the current software we have. We can get ballot stock management, see better live time reports of where the voters are and kind of the voting trends, which will help us in the future better staff our vote centers. And when we go to order ballots and distribute the ballots, we'll have better analysis of how many and where they need to go for the future. Do you guys have any questions, or do you have anything, Brandon?
Well, good morning, members of the Commission. Just wanted to, again, introduce myself, Brandon Johnson. I'm with the company Everyone Counts. Prior to joining Everyone Counts, I did serve in the Secretary of State's office for about 5 years, Director of Elections for 3 of those years. I do feel partially responsible for the predicament that you're in, because I was part of the selection process, choosing the Hart poll books. So when I did get word of what happened in this county, I felt it was my personal and professional manner to take care of Brown County as much as I could. Everyone Counts, we're a software-based company, so we're able to adapt to certain needs. In the meantime, too, we were in the process of building our new version of poll book to be a lot more compatible with different devices and hardware. So when word came of what happened in Brown County, I thought it was a great fit because we can adapt the current hardware that you do have for your poll books, load new software on there, depending on what hardware we do end up choosing, and then move forward to that. So I can certainly stand by for any questions, but just wanted to give you a little bit of a background of my experience.
Okay. Any questions for Kathy or Brandon?
And you talked with Paul on this?
Yeah, we met with Paul yesterday afternoon. He and Max and I met, and we went over kind of our software and hardware. I guess we just talked about it, where we thought we'd go in the next couple months here. And it looks like in March we plan to test the software on our current hardware so we don't actually have to buy new computers. And if that's successful, we'll give that a go at the city school election. If it's unsuccessful, we'll just more than likely go with those refurbs. They're around $189 a piece, at least so we can get through this city school election.
Can you lease or rent any?
Yeah, Brandon can talk about that.
Yep, you certainly can rent them. You can certainly rent a piece of hardware from both myself or Dusty from Midwest Cyber Solutions. We're partnering with Dusty because Everyone Counts can provide software and services, but we're based in San Diego. So having local support and local knowledge of the poll book brings costs down for every person that's involved, both from Everyone Counts and from Brown County. We do have a rental option. In the long run, for the size of your county, I would actually suggest purchasing. It's a little bit less expensive in the long run. But if the time comes, we can certainly, Paul and, we can certainly discuss all options, because, again, we can put software on a laptop, a tablet. The current poll book that we do in Custer County is a tablet, an Android tablet. So it's, again, just find the best, like, most cost-effective solution, the best long-term result. But yes, we can certainly rent.
Well, I'm just wondering, because if you're not certain how everything's gonna
We'll
work, I
know
hate
in
to stick
March.
our money out and
Yeah.
it's a permanent thing and then end up doing another purchase.
Correct.
Well, we put a lot of money into it.
Yeah. My
Probably
only
thought permanent was gonna be the best last time, too.
Yes, and,
Yeah.
you know, that's what I'm wondering. If we have that option, I think that's something we need to talk to at the time that we get near this.
Agreed.
The advantage here is we're not looking at a hardware-specific software.
Okay.
So we have options where with the other solution we did not. We
Correct.
bought the poll books, we were stuck with them.
Yeah.
Now, we've reloaded one of them to just Windows 10, we've taken all the software off of them and reloaded it. It looks like it runs fine, we don't know until they have the software, but worst case scenario, we can surplus them to the fair and they can use them for livestock check-in and stuff, so we'll find a use for those.
Yeah, they're nice little computers.
They're nice
It's
for
just
that,
spending
so.
It just didn't meet our needs exactly in this
But, I mean,
scenario.
the software, that's good to move forward on that, because we need to.
Okay.
The hardware, we're just not to the point where we know what we need yet for sure, so don't really want to make that expenditure until we're sure what we need to do.
That would be my thought.
Yeah, my
No.
thought on the hardware is keep it as consistent as possible, as long as possible, because a lot of our election volunteers are senior community members, and having consistent hardware is going to be critical to a smooth operation at the polling places. So if we, laptops, tablets,
Yeah.
going back and forth,
That's what I'm saying, maybe we
yeah.
have to find out what we need before, and a little more study on that if we could.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's one of the, that was one of my concerns as well, because of the fact that the poll workers, knowing your solution right now, we try to fit where we could, at least amount of disruption in the process. Unfortunately, for example, like Brookings County, they have a city and school election in April, and our software just isn't going to be ready in time for April for testing, loading, and anything like that. So they're just renting our versions, our previous version, that tablet solution I mentioned in Custer County. They're renting them for that April election, and then they're going to, again, reevaluate how they look, but for moving forward.
That's what we need to do. Thank you.
That's it.
So what is we got the sheet here, but is there a cost for the software? What are we looking at?
Yeah, I guess
Our one page didn't have the price on it.
So the actual price for 33 units for our software is $4,125. There are a number of services that we do have options for. We have a package that we can package together, a gold, silver, and a bronze, and they range anywhere from $16,500 down to a bronze of $8,250. And I can certainly pass this quote on for you. We like to leave it up to the county to decide from the resources they have in place at the county level what kind of package they prefer. We can, of course, provide as much services as you would like, what we call a turnkey solution, which is our gold package, where basically we just say, we'll take care of your election for you. We can have you involved as much as you'd like, but we can certainly will provide the loading, the distributing the poll books, the training. We'll do everything that's necessary to run an efficient election. But the software itself is, again, for the 33 poll books, would be an annual license fee of $4,125. Then based off each election, you can choose which package you would like for support.
Can we get a copy of that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is this something we're deciding on
Did you
today,
get
or?
some,
Not, I guess, as far as, I guess today, what I would like to do is decide just to move forward with everyone counts, and as far as the additional gold, silver versus bronze package, we'd like a little more time to assess our needs on that.
that's what I was wondering if you were
Because,
picking it today?
We've been working here with Dustin for the last 6 elections he was our former heart consultant, and our work with him has been great. And these prices are pretty comparable to what we've currently been operating with him. He's more around, price range, we were around probably the silver level.
And one of the recommendations I would make as to wait on the services as well is because of the fact that for the election that you'll have in June, number one, will you have an election? That's the first question, right? So it's not, to make a decision on services at this point may not be necessary. Number two, it does depend also on which laptops we do choose, and if you choose a tablet, moving forward from there. But lastly, of course, is every election is just a little bit different when it comes to turnout and what you absolutely need. So once you know if you're going to have an election, is it a city and school election, is it just a school election, what's the turnout, how many poll books you would actually need, could also determine what service package you pick as well. So again, even though I would like you to choose everything right now, I would also recommend just selecting the software and moving forward to Everyone Counts, then determining what service level you would like at that point.
And, you know, maybe the first time around you get a higher service level, and as we're more comfortable with the new software and possible new equipment, our service needs may decrease as well.
Do we need a motion on it? To software for $4,000?
Yeah.
I don't need that motion over Everyone Counts for the $4,000 software.
And I would second that. And then if we can get a copy of that breakdown so we can see what all goes with
Yeah, I'll email
everything.
to it, yeah.
Okay, we've got a motion on the table from Commissioner Feldheim, seconded by Hanson. Any other questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you guys, appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we've got Shirley Johnson to discuss a contract. Shirley, are you with us? Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm pretty good.
Okay.
You remember me? Tired of the winter. Tired of the winter. I've been doing good since
I think we're all getting there. So what did we find out, Shirley?
Well, he's waiting on a check, and he'll get another check on Friday, so will I.
And I get paid tomorrow.
Okay, so if we gather our checks up, well, how much towards your debt of the house?
I can give 500, and it's all depending on how much.
I can give 100.
Whatever my paychecks are.
So we had waited because there was going to be a substantial payment of $3,000 to $4,000. You were going to talk to a sister or relative or something.
Yeah.
Did we get that payment in?
We didn't get that. She called and said that she had forgotten that she refinanced her house and couldn't help us. But he's got a check coming in every Friday.
Isn't that every Friday?
Just about every week.
And I get paid the 16th again, too. I get paid tomorrow, and then I get paid the 16th.
Okay.
And we can bring you as much as...
So today, there's no payment that you can give to the treasurer's office?
We don't know if he's missing a check, and we've been trying to find that, if that's if that's there when we get home, we'll bring some money in too.
A check of, how much?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Whatever.
And tomorrow I'll bring some money up.
That was would be my first paycheck for my second job, and I don't know how much that paycheck is.
Well, I think we really want to work with you and we want to help you, but you know, we're just so far back right now. Unless we get that $4,000, $5,000 payment to kind of get you partway caught up, I think we're just doing you a big disservice by putting you in this position and having you try to
We really need a second chance here, and
Tomorrow I can bring you some money up.
What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, and she gets paid Friday.
So all in total, if all three of you contribute this on a monthly basis, what's your monthly payment looking at? I mean, consistently, I mean, is it gonna be $800 a month, is it gonna be $500 a month, or where we at? I guess we as a commission don't have a clue what you're...
it's gonna be more than 500 a month.
Yeah.
500 is just what I can give. It's not counting what they could give.
And what's the first day you can bring a check in?
The 3rd.
And tomorrow.
What do you want?
I guess I would say,
Possibly.
I would say $800 a month, and the first payment you miss, I don't know if we can do that on a contract, all bets are off.
All right.
Starting in this Friday.
Well, if not before.
Because, you know,
If it's not here by Friday.
we can't continue to keep doing this every...
Yes, yes.
And that's why I said
yes.
I want the clause in that the first default, it's over with.
Okay.
The contract's broken.
All right.
Okay, so Friday we'll have money.
And I don't
And
want
then-
100 coming in on Wednesday and
No.
Still
200
bring
on
it so you have it
Saturday.
all together. So
Oh,
wait till
okay.
Friday, then bring the whole 800.
Friday's what, the 3rd? What is Friday?
Friday's the 3rd, because tomorrow's the
3rd of
1st.
every month, we want $500.
800.
800, I mean, 800.
Yeah, if it's not here by the 3rd.
Starting this coming Friday.
Okay.
It's not here,
We can do
deal's
that.
off.
Good luck to you guys. I hope you can do it.
And
Get
just so
it
you
done.
understand that, if there's
Yep.
a default,
Yeah.
And then in April,
There's a
in April, you have to pay an additional $500 and some for the taxes. And in the fall, outside of the contract, you have to pay the taxes that come due in April and October.
Okay.
On time, before they're delinquent.
For 800?
No, well, it depends on, looks like your bill is $1,079, so it's about $550.
so those 2 months, you have to allow for a little additional, because
Yep, yep.
you're only paying on the back taxes. When the
Yep.
new ones come due by April 30th and October or November 1st, you have to have that additional $500 on those 2 months.
Okay. Okay.
And if it doesn't
Friday,
happen,
then.
I mean,
Well, okay.
Oh, yeah, Friday.
So we have to put it in the form of a motion. We've got a motion on the table. Would you like to offer that motion, Commissioner?
I would motion that we take $800 a month, starting February 3rd, and with also in the motion, if there's a default, that the contract is broken and it's null and void.
Okay, is there a second on that?
Do we need to add anything about the real estate taxes?
Well, I'll have to write it up in the form of a contract, and they'll have to sign it. That says that once I have the motion, I'll write up the contract, standard contract that we have for everybody. Change it from the 500 to the 800, and it says in there that they have to keep the current taxes.
Okay, I'll second it.
We got a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussions? So is it clear to you guys what we need to
Yes,
see?
yep, yes.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Good luck, and we will see you Friday.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So much. Village Judge, huh?
No.
Come on, oh, you're retired.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our regular agenda. Anything else come up that you had for us, Gary? How about you, Mac? Larry, got anything for us?
Nothing.
How about anybody else in attendance? Sheila?
Do you want to talk about the problem with the tax rate?
Yeah, we could just in general, what the policy is and maybe how you guys
We
handle it.
we had a call, someone came in yesterday and said that, they got their tax bill and the tax freeze isn't on there. And so we went and looked in our records, and our records, we keep track every year of everybody that's on the program.
Yep.
We send them the original notice, we send them a second letter, and then we start calling, and we make notes who we talked to, when we talked to, and what they said. So we're being very conscientious.
Is that your list, or is that
This is just for this year, what we did, how we talked to people. You know, as we crossed them off, as we got the apps in, and what they told us if we called them, you know, and so on, and what this person had said when they called was the daughter was going to bring it in, it's still coming, and so, you know, we had a response. In this particular case, these people have been disqualified. They've been signing up since 2005, and there's been about 4 years since 2005 that they were disqualified by income. There were 2 years in that time period where they did not respond, just like this past year. So they are denied, and I have no ability to give them the money. There is a statute that is under 106A4 that says if somebody qualified the year before and for whatever reason did not get qualified this year, you have the right to abate those taxes by this statute. So you have the legal right to do that. When this law passed, I had a discussion with the full commission at that time, and it was the consensus of the commission at that time that we would not do this. This law was written by Pam Nelson in Minnehaha County. They don't do anything for their customers. They sign them up, and if they don't get in, they don't get in. And when I talked to the commission and told them at that time what lengths we went to for our customers, their decision at that time was that we were not going to open that can of worms and start giving it to people. But you do have the legal right to do that if you wish. So that is where we stand. I cannot give it to these people. If you choose to, you can abate their taxes based on 106A4.
Is this a regular form, Sheila, there's tax freeze form
Yes.
that they have
Yeah,
to
they
send
have
out?
to certify by income.
Yeah.
I removed their social security number, so it wouldn't be anything showing. They have to bring me their, if they file income tax, this person had been filing taxes, now apparently they don't anymore. Then they have to bring that social security document that says what their earnings were, and the rest of the stuff all gets entered, and if they meet the income guidelines, and the home qualifies being a single-family dwelling and that they're living in it 200 days, then it rolls the value on that home back to what it was the year they turned 65. So if this person is, 80 years old and you're rolling back a value for 15 years and you use the current mill levy, you're talking about a huge difference in taxes.
What are we talking about in this particular one, from taxes to tax-freeze? Is there a...
God, I am
How old
sorry,
is
I
the
didn't even
person?
print it. It's 1003 North Roosevelt is the address. I'm guessing it's $700 or $800 difference.
And that would be rolling it back for just 1 year?
Well, that they have to meet the guidelines every year, and they met it last year. So that gives you the right to do it one time for that. But if you open it up for them,
We have a can of worms.
that's my feeling. Now, he says he handed it to our office, and we didn't take care of it. So, to be fair, that's what he's saying.
I've worked with Sheila many, many years with clients of mine and getting them ready. I mean, we get the tax return done, which they don't have a tax filing requirement, but I make all the copies and stuff that she needs so that he can hand it to her. She contacts them, and she goes that extra step.
I go to their home, I have their children's phone numbers. I mean, I beat this, but, I mean, he's saying I didn't do it, so it's on the table, whether...
So what did the note say? You said you
The
called and
note
talked
said
to...
that we had sent the 2 letters, and then it said on here, Donna, she called, Patty called her on March 17th, and she said her daughter Donna was doing it for her. That's what the note said.
So she was aware of everything.
Yeah, she had got the 2 letters, and we got his phone
How
call.
old is she?
She was born in 27.
Wow.
90.
So it's, her two children aren't getting along that well, I think, and that's part of the problem, is one is doing something and the other one isn't. But it's whatever you want to do. I'm telling you, the law is there, you have the right. He's saying we didn't do what we were supposed to do. Is it within the realm of possibility that someone's document was misplaced? I guess it is, to be honest. But we're very conscientious, and I don't know.
And I know that. That's why I said what I did. I know you go that extra step.
I would not be offended if you feel like you have to do it, but then you have to do it as an abatement. It's not because I approve the program.
Unfortunately, when you get to be 90, you probably mentally and physically aren't able to do those type of things on your own.
And you're relying on
and
your
you're
family.
relying on family, and if family drops off the cliff,
I
things like
can't-
that happen.
blaming the other
I
one, yeah.
I kind of
I get it.
see her
Yeah.
point, but I also, what President Stia said, I mean, I don't know where to go with that, I guess.
Well, at a 90, I don't have a problem with us doing it and that's a substantial amount for someone with that income. And I don't have a problem with that. I just want everyone to know that Sheila probably has gone
Oh, yeah,
further
I
than
mean,
most
that's-
treasurers.
Yet the son
doing
came
it.
in yesterday asking for it.
But, in her case, when you get up to be that age, we can't expect our treasurer's office to go out and physically do this
No.
for those people. They've got to be able to help themselves to some degree, but I understand it's difficult for them also.
Is this the only one that's had issues? Have you had a lot of other people
I
calling saying, I
think-
forgot, or I missed, or is it...
It's happened that one time, 2 years ago, there was one that there was a possibility we were involved somehow with it, and so we just went along with it and said it should be abated. I can't say that I know of anybody that's been granted this because of this, but the law is there. It's absolutely fine to do it. I don't have a problem either. It's hard to look people in the face and say, you say I'm not telling the truth, and I say you're not. It's kind of difficult, and they're just adamant that they handed it to us, and so you can come look at my desk on some given days. There's a lot of papers laying there. It's not that it's not humanly possible that it happens.
So when she applies for this, does she have to apply each year, or is it just,
Yes.
and this is an annual thing she
Yes,
has to take
and
care
then
of every year?
Yep, and we have a process, we go through them, we scan every one of the documents, and we're on the Register of Deeds stuff, and so then every year when they come in, we can bring up her file, and we know, did she get railroad retirement, are we looking for an interest statement from this bank? Did we have everything there so that we can help them as best we can?
And you know, if we do it this one time, if we do it case by case, that, I mean, there's gonna be different things. A 90-year-old, like you said, can't physically, or probably mentally be able to handle it all by themselves.
And you did set a precedent when we talked about raising the fees to $400, you left it open for case-by-case basis, should the commission think that it's appropriate. So, like I say, I just want you to know, it's there, it's your call, I don't care, but you'd have to do an abatement and get it done.
And if you wanted to, if you were inclined to do something like this, you could limit it by saying, you know, you have to, if this happens and you're 89 years of age or older, then we'll take a look at it, but below that, I mean, you could do reasonable things like that, too.
Well, I think age is a big factor, you know,
Yeah, I agree.
I think.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
I do too. I think if we could qualify, I don't know, you know, I think it's a case by case.
If they really thought they did it.
I think it's reasonable. I like to say, I'd be the first to say, you know, if you say you're 100%
Anything's
without a mistake.
possible if they
Yes.
think they really did it.
Yeah, it's,
I would move it.
Okay, we've got a motion
I'll
from
second it.
Fishback and a second from Hanson to go ahead and abate the taxes, give them the freeze from back when they were 65, is that how?
well, you'd have to go back and do it according to the value that was used last year, I'm sure. But the abatement has to come from you, it can't come from me.
Okay.
So if we were to tell her that we're doing this abatement, and she realizes she has to come in next year, are we gonna be abating
I don't
this
think
again
she
next?
even understands, Doug.
Okay.
I can tell the
That's what I'm
fun,
afraid of.
but, yeah.
Yeah.
When we send out the abatement, we can attach a cover letter saying this was a one-time only thing, that you'll have to consciously, you know.
Make an effort to
And
get
you
it
have
next
all the information you needed for the income.
I know, that doesn't go by this,
Okay.
it only goes by, you know, based on last year's. And she, you know,
Okay.
things didn't change, she's been the same for years and years. I have no qualms about whether or not she met the income, because it's the same all the time.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you going above and beyond. I don't doubt that it was probably miscommunication on the part of them and the family, so.
But it is what it is, so. And
Okay,
I know
we-
they contacted you, so if you want to tell them that it'll be in the works in a
Sure.
matter of weeks, but.
Okay. Well, we've got a
Thank you.
motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thanks a lot, Sheila. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Sheila.
All right, anything else from the folks in attendance today? Or the other commissioners? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion from Feldheim, seconded from Fishback. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We're adjourned for the week.